I've always thought it was interesting that Jeremiah 29:11, it says, it says, for I know the plans I have for you. This is God saying in Jeremiah 29:11, to give you hope and a future, and to prosper you, and to give you hope, and that He has plans for you. I think it's real interesting. This is the part that I've always noticed. It says, and not to harm you. And the reason why that speaks to me is because, sometimes, much like a butterfly goes through a chrysalis phase where it gets constricted and it gets in a tight place. The path of this, or the journey of this, a lot of times when bad things happen, when shit happens, if you will, it feels painful. And it's interesting when people say, they quote the scripture. My mind always goes here, because I know what the promise is, but it's almost like God is saying, "Oh, and I'm not trying to hurt you, and this is not the intent is not to hurt." And I'm like, well, why are you even bringing it up? And I think it's just because the honesty of 29:11 says you're going to go through trials and growing pains, and you're going to go through tribulations. And I mean, the Bible also speaks of growth. And so if you think of any skill, I do things that I'm trying to get good at. Like I'm trying to learn how to ski right now. That first day was hard. The first day I fell down. I was embarrassed at times because, I these little kids were better than me. They're little ninjas, and I'm hugging the mountain at times. And then I got tired, and there was one time I couldn't even. There was a little tow rope, and I was so tired I couldn't even hold on to the rope, and that was, almost humiliating to to not even be able to be pulled up the rope. But the promise says that God says, because I have plans for you and to prosper you, and there are gonna be times that you're gonna be tired, and you're gonna be hurting, and you're gonna be just exhausted, and your muscles are gonna hurt, and you're gonna fall down, you're not gonna have the right equipment, you're not gonna have the right support, all these things. And when that stuff happens, that's where we feel like this promise isn't true. But the fact is, it is true. And it's so true that He's like, hey, I do have promise. I do have plans for your life. And I want to prosper you. And I want to give you hope and a future. And for me, I want that. I want that for myself. I want that for you. And, right now, I just want to encourage you guys. Because when I encourage you guys, I get encouraged. There's things happening in my life that are painful. Custody battles, building a new, not a hedge fund, but, it's just things get stressful. And so where do we go? Do we go to self-pity? We have to feed the tank with good things. For me, I have to read good books. I have to watch good movies. I have to get a lot of exercise, eat right, take walks, meditate, cannabis, because 29:11 says that God has plans for your life, and that there's a hope in the future. But there are growing pains, and we have to be willing to endure those growing pains, and that's a sign of maturity. And eventually, I'm going to get good at skiing. And then when I'm good at skiing, people are going to like, yeah, you were born that way. I'm like, no, you should have seen me the first day. Everybody was laughing at me. Couldn't even walk up the mountain, much less ski down it. Remember, life is more like a process than an event, and we have to allow ourselves to grow. And also, as we're around other people, understand that they're growing, and we have to be patient with them, and we have to meet them where they're at. A friend of mine recently told me, how important it is to meet people where they're at. And anyway, I hope this is a good message for you. Enjoy your day.